LoreWarrior Armour, Striker Light Tank. Overview. The Striker is a joint effort between Valiant Systems, long known for their quality war equipment, and Wunderland Enterprises, a newer company that's made a name in the communications and electronic equipment industry. The two companies decided to work together when it became obvious that neither one had the capability to produce military vehicles. They realized that by combining their resources they could create a profitable joint company. The Striker Light Tank was the first vehicle produced by Valiant and Wunderland because it had the greatest potential marketability. Combining both short-range and long-range fire capability, the vehicle could be used by almost anyone, anywhere, for almost any function. To ease the engineering difficulties of developing new chassis and suspension systems, wheels were used instead of the more popular track and hover systems. Wheeled vehicles were also cheaper to produce than either track or hover types, which meant the manufacturers could hope to sell the tanks in large quantities. Capabilities. The Striker is a fairly effective fighting vehicle. Though many other vehicles also employ missile systems of different ranges, the Pilum and heavy crossbow missile systems make an excellent combination because they can use the same tracking and targeting systems. The Pilum is a new system developed by Valiant especially for the Striker. Although not originally battle-tested, the Pilum has proven to be as effective, and sometimes more effective, than many other typical light missile systems. Unlike the Pilum, the crossbow was an early design from Valiant. After they had tested it extensively, the firm sold the original design to other weapons manufacturers who used it as a basis for their own. As the original design was basically unmodified from company to company, Valiant engineers correctly assumed that their missile system worked well. The communications, targeting and tracking system designed and developed by Wunderland Enterprises is unique in that it combines all of the electronics into a single component unit. Though this has the advantage of being cheap to produce and easy to repair, a lucky hit can effectively blind the whole tank. Battle history. During a Davian attack on the Kurita world of Styx, a company of strikers on defense found themselves in a difficult situation. A Leopard-class dropship landed 6 kilometers from their position to deposit an attack group of light mechs. Following proper defensive doctrine, the company of strikers moved into position behind a series of hills and opened fire with their long-range missiles on the incoming mechs. This pinned the mechs down because they didn't have the long-range capability of the strikers. Minutes later, another Leopard landed to the east, depositing another group of light mechs. Once again, following standard operating procedure, the strikers moved into a wedge formation to allow maximum firepower against both units. The strikers succeeded in also pinning down the new units of mechs. 5 minutes after the second dropship left, 2 more dropships landed to the south and the west of the strikers and deposited another 2 units of light mechs. This time, the commander of the strikers moved his vehicles into a simple circle and awaited the slaughter to come. Because of the surrounding high hills, the strikers couldn't see all of the mechs all the time. Every once in a while a token attack would come from the surrounding terrain, eventually though even these stopped. 2 hours later, the commander of the company took his striker out to investigate the silence, and discovered that the mechs had crawled away and left them alone. Variants. The most popular modifications of the Striker remove either the short missile racks and add another long-range rack, or else increase the size of the LRM-10. Another common modification is to substitute extra or larger short-range missile racks for the Valiant LRM. Some other versions of the Striker break the SRM pack into 3 SRM-2s. Depending on the situation, weapons will be removed and extra ammo for the other weapon installed. Notable vehicles and crew: Wild Bill Knudsen and Psycho Moll. These 2 Striker crewmen earned their nicknames on a daring suicidal attack against a Union-class dropship. When the dropship had landed and unloaded its forces, Wild Bill and Psycho ran their Striker into the open door of the dropship and attacked it from the inside. Although their stay was brief, they did manage to damage the ship enough that it couldn't immediately leave. After a quick exit from the Union, Psycho managed to get through a unit of friendly artillery, who succeeded in destroying the dropship. Yes, the Striker. Probably, it's got to be one of the most visually recognizable vehicles in Battletech. It's the cover vehicle of Technical Readout 3026, and I think it's been in quite a few MechWarrior games over the years. It's simple, it's small, it's easy to use, it's popular on tabletop because it's dirt cheap, but it's effective. It's a 35-ton wheeled combat vehicle. Its power plant is the Intercombust 175, cruise at 54, flank of 86, with armour produced by Valiant Buckler. Its communication system is the Wunderland XX13 series with the same tracking. Basically, so it moves 5 and 8, which is not bad at all for a vehicle of its weight. It uses an ICE engine, so there's no worry about fusion engine shutdowns or explosions there. It's got 24 armour on the front, 20 on the sides, 18 on the back, and 22 on the turret, so it can even take a few decent hits from light and medium mechs before it actually has to flee. It's got enough ammo, 30 missiles for the SRM-6 and 12 shots for the LRM-10, so you can imagine a lance of them got, you know, pretty much the entire tabletop session's worth of ammunition of LRMs alone that it can just fling at enemies. It's really, really good. It's a cool looking vehicle as well. It's always been one of the most, as I said, visually distinct armoured vehicles in Battletech. So I've always liked it for that design. I know some people don't like Dwayne Luce's artwork, but I think this is really nice. I don't know if it could be argued to be a tank in the same respect. I guess it comes down to whether you view a tank as being a vehicle that is based on a very specific style, like it has a turreted main gun and it uses tracks and the such, but it does apparently count as a tank. I mean, that is its name. But I guess that's one of the cool things about, well, Battletech, really, is that it doesn't really stick to those kind of, you know, established norms. So, yeah, I'm sure many people out there have played it on tabletop, have used strikers or been harassed by them, and have many a story about these little durable little vehicles. And, yeah, I hope you find some interest in them as well, because strikers, I like a lot of the vehicles in Battletech, are a lot of fun, and they can be quite effective. So, have a good one all. I'll catch you next time. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.